Welcome to day 2 of our January challenge 2026, working on The Grey Heron Stands by Karen Marshallsay. So today we're going to look at bars 9 through to 16, the next 8 bars. I'm going to play though for you from the beginning to the end of there so that you can hear it, and I want you to notice what's similar and maybe what's different as well. From the first 8 bars that we learnt yesterday to what we're going to learn today. Here's the beginning. Okay, I may have done a little bit of a slowdown there as well, which isn't really intentional. I think if you're playing this on your own, you would pull around with the tempo slightly in places. Use some rubato, the robbed time, where you might steal a bit here, so slow it down a bit here, and then give it back later by speeding up somewhere else. In a group, you would keep it a bit more strict, or get some fantastic cohesion, of course, so that you're all working together and doing these in the natural place. So hopefully what you noticed was how similar the melody is, or rather the right hand part. So we have the run up again with a slight change here because we're going to go up to a G. So the first time round we had a long F that held across the whole bar and into the next bar. This time 1, 2, 3, so we've got a lead to the G, just changing it slightly. Then we have same ending. Okay, so a lot of similarity in that hand. The left hand has these runs, the little triad run up, which actually wants to join up. You want to really practice that. That flows from, yeah, wants to sound as though it's all in one hand, but shared. That's it. Okay, so practice those, but we also now have some bass, real bass sound coming in with it. So we have and a bass C down there, and then straight back up for a B going to a G. Okay, so in terms of remembering that, we've got a C triad, a red triad, down to the bass red, and then B, G, so up by middle C, just one down, and 1, 2, okay? And that will be really worth practicing. Okay, so get to the point where you can do that without having to see it on the music. So triad, up, bass, ding dong, yeah? Triad up, bass, and then like a doorbell, ding dong. Okay, let's try that again. After 3, 1 and 2 and 3. And bass, doorbell. Yeah, let's try that again one more time. After 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. And we can actually bring the volume right up on that bass C. Gone up to mezzo forte, which is the loudest we've been so far in the piece. So we do need to hear that difference. In our first 8 bars, we were piano to mezzo piano. Now we're mezzo piano to mezzo forte, so we're just a step louder than we were first time round. Okay, second time the left hand comes in. So looking at bar 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Second part of this. So still down to the bass, but this time we're doing another triad with our thumb on the red C. Okay, so let's practice that one. So to place some practice, we'll put the red triad on, the first one. We'll take our 4th finger down to the bass red, and I'm doing it with a 4 rather than a 2 because then I don't have to take my whole hand quite so far. And then coming back up for the F, A, C, just giving that a little squeeze. We'll try that again. So I've got the red triad, C, E, G, down with a bass 4 on the red, and then thumb on middle C, opening up to a triad. And I'm talking about that one as thumb on middle C, so that you really think about opening the hand and letting those fingers drop out. Not sort of going, oh, where am I going, in like this, and then having to slide down if we even remember. So when we go from bottom notes up, we quite often can end up sort of going, oh, like that, and then we end up lifting middle fingers out the way. When we think from the thumb and think of it as a group of things and one movement to place, thumb on the red, open up those other hands. Okay, so that one sounds like this. It sounds like the red triad, bass red, and then triad up or up to C. Yeah, let's try that together. Okay, so these are bars 11 and 12. Okay, after 3. Okay, and again, I want you to try and not have to look at that music for the moment because we're just doing this bit. And just be able to give your attention to the fact we've got it jumping around, so it's going to need our visual attention. Okay, here we go. Triad up. 1, 2, 3, and bass up to C. Okay, let's try that again. So we've got the red triad, down to the C, and then up to C. Okay, here we go. Okay, take a breath, wiggle your shoulders. Here's our count. 1 and 2 and 3 and bass up to C. Okay, well done. Fantastic. Okay, we don't want to do too much of this hand all on its own because ultimately we need to play them together and we're wanting to produce something that we play together. So if we go back to the beginning of today, so beginning of bar 9, and we're going to have the triad on in both hands, okay? And I'm just going to slowly talk you through it. You can kind of move with me, but I'm not really doing it in time. So my left hand's going to do these 3 notes going up, and it's going to get ready on the C down here, while my right hand carries on. Then we're going to be together, and my top hand's going to do that placing where I get the 2, 3, 4 on to come down. The left hand's leapt up to be just below middle C on these clears, B and G. Okay, so that's what's going on in those first 2 bars. The triad leaping down to a red, the top hand moving to 4 in a row from that G, so finger 2's on the black, and the left hand coming up to the B going down to the G here. So let's do that now a bit more in time. I'm going to take it steady. So we'll go dum, 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 ba. That's speed, okay? I will count you in. After 3, 1 and 2 and left and. Okay, try that one more time. Maybe give the arms a bit of a shake out. Go again. Ready? Try it in both hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, and notice the mezzo piano, the mezzo forte, and the mezzo piano again coming down. So just a lovely bit of phrasing there. And louder down we go. Bringing that in, okay? Next bar, next few bars was where we practiced this left hand, doing the red triad, down to the bass C, and up to a triad which is going up to middle C, so thumb on middle C. Okay, so we're going to have a look at those 2 bars with the other hand in. So the D at the beginning there's tied on from what we had before, so we can get a triad in both hands ready. I'll talk you through it slowly first, which so we would go left, left, left. The right hand's going to take over while this left hand's jumped down to bass C, which is coming in now. We're going to get the F ready in the top hand, and our left hand is coming up to a triad going to middle C. And then we have a G. Okay, so that's that one different note from the beginning of our piece. So putting that now into some timing. Okay, so I'm looking at now bars 11 and 12. Left hand on the bass, right hand up here. Okay, I will count you in. This is the one where we're going to go down to the red and then up to middle C. Here's our count. 1 and 2 and 3 and. G. Okay. And then if we put, in fact, we'll do that one more time and then we'll put those 4 bars together. So that same bit, the red triad in both hands, where we jump down to the bass and we're going to go to the F, A, C. Okay, so bars 11 and 12. Here's our count. 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's it. And because it was an F, the F was a minim or a half beat note, I didn't trouble myself to place to the G. I just allowed that to be beautifully on its own, and I've got my hand ready on the G with a finger 2 so that it can be a really rich note. Okay, let's put those 4 bars together. Triad in both hands, C going up. Here is our count, starting now at bar 9. Okay, it's mezzo piano. Here's our count. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Doorbell, triads. Lovely. Okay, you can practice that some more in the play along video, or pause and rewind this to do that again. Then the pattern continues. We have a repeat in terms of what the hands are doing from bars 9 and 10. So we have the triad up and then the doorbell coming in. So we have that. The right hand is then going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, trying to end on a beautiful 2 on that C. We've also got a diminuendo happening through all of this little part, these 3 bars. So, okay, left hand under that, the last 2 bars of today. So we've just done our doorbell on the B to G, which was bar 14. If we just move our doorbell pattern down so that our thumb is on the G now, so we're either side of the black, and we're going to go another doorbell. That one does definitely sound like a doorbell to me, ding dong. And then we have an octave, bass C, playing first, and then the thumb. Okay, so if I just go back and do the last 4 bars of the left hand, it's the triad up, going up to the doorbell, to another doorbell, 2, 3, octave C, bass first. So one after the other. Okay, that's what's happening under there. In terms of fitting that with the top, our new doorbell. So it happens as the top hand is also playing quavers or 8th notes. So, and then finger 2 goes on the red, and we have a red in all hands or all parts. Okay, so if we now do the last 4 bars, so we're mezzo piano, got a triad in both hands, and I will count you in. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and. Doorbell, another doorbell down a bit, and then C's. Okay, the G at the end of that bar in the right hand is taking us into the next phrase, so we'll deal with that when we come to that day. Okay, so in many senses it's very similar to yesterday, and I think it could be easy to fall into the mindset of, oh heck, there's something new happening in the left hand, it's all going to fall apart. But actually just keep breathing through it, build into what you did yesterday, and allow that left hand to just come up for those notes. Yeah, yum bum bum. Back yesterday at the beginning we had the, and it went to a B. We're still doing those similar sounds, just adding a bass C, and then we are coming to that B and adding a G to make our doorbell. Okay, so it's all similar structure, just building up a little bit more. Okay, and again we want to really make a lot of those dynamics. Join me on the play along video, and we will do that at some different speeds, really paying attention to that flow and the dynamics too. Spend some time working on it first before you join me on that play along video, maybe later today. And then tomorrow we will have a rest day where we put all of it together from the beginning all the way through to this bar 16 that we've got to. Okay, well done, keep it up.